Inside Eastern Utah. Today we are here with some great ladies from the health department, and they both have different titles at the health department, and I will let them introduce their titles. So introduce yourself, and then we'll talk about what's going on this weekend. I forgot to talk about the weekend.
So I'm Debbie Marvadakis. I work at the health department, of course, and I am their health promotions director. And mostly what we work on in that position is health education and educating the community and providing events, free and low-cost events, to help reduce harmful behaviors and to educate our community that prevention works.
Great. And how long have you been in that position?
I've been working at the health department for 13 years now.
Great. And what about you, Kathy? What's your role?
My title is Health Education Specialist, and unlike Debbie, I've only been there 3 years, so I'm still learning. But we deal with the HOPE squad, and we deal with suicide prevention, we deal with tobacco cessation and prevention, and a little bit of everything.
Well, mine's been 3 years, but they have thrown you right into it, and you've been rolling with the punches ever since.
I don't know. Sink or swim, right?
That's right.
Well, I think you're doing a good job of swimming. You both are very involved with the HOPE squad. Tell us a bit about what that is and how it got started here in Carbon and Emery counties.
Well, in 2013, we had noticed that Carbon and Emery and Grand suicides rates were a little higher than what your average community rate would be.
And it's terrible that that's the case. And I think we especially on the show like to focus on the really great things that are happening in our community and in our town. And we don't talk so much about some of these things. And I think the Hope Squad has been so great at getting this out in the open and saying this is something we need to talk about. As much as we don't want to, let's talk about it, because if we don't, it's going to continue and we're never going to solve the problem.
I agree with that. We need to shine a spotlight on suicide prevention because suicide is preventable.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that, oh, if you're going to take your life, there's nothing we can do about it. But that's not true. It's preventable. It's 100% preventable if you know the steps on what to do in a crisis and how to get the people the help that they need. And you know what's really interesting is once someone gets that help, they more than likely will never attempt again.
Really?
Yeah, and
That's
I really
awesome.
like that. It's very hopeful.
Yes.
So in 2013, we put together a coalition to address our rising rates of suicide, to see what we could do to, of course, reduce those numbers. So we call ourselves the Hope Squad of Carbon and Emery counties because the only causal effect with suicide is those people feel hopeless.
Yes.
At that moment when they take their life, they feel that there is no more hope for them. And of course, there is hope out there. So we set about to do an educational campaign that suicide is preventable. We, as a coalition, decided to do a couple of things in our community. One, we're teaching QPR, which is called Question, Persuade, and Refer. It's an evidence-based program that teaches you how to recognize the signs of suicide and how to save the life of a loved one. Much like CPR, 3 simple steps, 3 simple steps with Question, Persuade, and Refer.
And it's 3 simple steps that everyone should know because
Yes.
you never know when a friend or family member or coworker is going to be struggling with something like this. So if we can all know those simple steps and know what to do in that type of situation, it can make a world of difference.
And it does make a world of difference. We have never done a training, and we've probably trained a little over 3,000 people in
Wow,
Carbon, Emery, and
great.
Grand.
Since starting?
Yes, in 2013. We've never done a training where we didn't get feedback that someone in our audience was able to save someone's life.
Oh,
And it's not a cliche to say that one life at a time matters, because it does.
Sure.
So we do the QPR trainings. We do them free, of course, to
Oh,
our
great.
community.
And you come talk with like organizations and businesses, really any group that can want you guys to come out, you can
Yes,
get out and
yes.
help them.
Any organization that is interested in that, we're happy to come. And again, it's free. A lot of organizations will have us come out and they'll have us do QPR training for their safety events. So that's really a good way to get us in there and to begin the conversation for suicide prevention. And then a couple of the other things that we do is we do the Hope Festival in December.
That's gotten big.
Yeah,
That's
it's
very
huge.
well
It's
attended.
huge. We have anywhere from 200 to 500 people show up for that event. That event is created to draw attention to awareness for suicide prevention, that it can be prevented. And everything we do at the Hope Festival is free to our community.
And very family oriented.
Oh,
Absolutely.
extremely family oriented. Santa comes, you know, and our community is very generous in their donations so that we can put that event on so that's not a hardship for anyone. And the first year that we did that event, we played bingo. And I thought, oh, bingo. And one of our coalition members says to me, look, no one's on their cell phone.
Yep.
You know, it's the first time I had ever been
That's
at an
pretty
event.
impressive.
I know, I was so impressed that everyone was so engaged in what we were offering the community. And we do talk about suicide and how it can be prevented, and sometimes that's a little sad.
Yeah.
But the whole intent of that event in December is to bring hope and awareness that it can be prevented. And then we have our Hope Walk, which
Yes.
Kathy's going to talk about because she's putting that together for us this year. And then we do Spring for Hope.
Oh, great. So a lot of great events throughout
Yes.
the year.
Yeah.
And with the Hope Walk, is this the first year you've headed it?
Yes, it is the first year I've headed it, but it's actually the 4th annual Hope
Yes.
Walk that we will be offering. It's going to be September 8th, and we begin at the Peace Gardens at 6 o'clock. We have an inspirational speaker start us out there, and then this year we'll be walking to Pioneer Park because Price City Park is already taken up by the teenagers. So we're going to walk a little further to Pioneer Park, and then we offer a free dinner, usually sponsored by somebody in the county that donates. Also, we're going to have music, which is by Steve Laszlo's group,
Oh,
which
great.
was a lot of inspirational plus rock. And then we also ask that family members and survivors of suicide come up, and we give them a balloon or several balloons, and they release the balloon as they say their loved one's name.
Yes.
So it's a very touching part of the walk, but also then it ends happy.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, it's been a well-attended event throughout the
Yeah,
years. It just gets bigger and bigger each year, I feel like.
Yeah, I think last year we fed over 200 people.
Wow.
And is there a cost associated with
No,
this?
everything's free. We try to get everything donated, and through the support of our great community again, everything is free.